Tea friends, what's up? This is a new one. This is a green tea, Burmese green tea. Really excited about this one. I did do just a tiny bit of research, and the Burmese Myanmar tea culture is actually edible. They do, of course, drink tea, but I think the more interesting side of it is that they eat it, and I believe they ferment it or they pickle it or something like that. And I sincerely thought about buying some online just to try it out. I don't know why I didn't, honestly, but there was a company online that was selling some. There was like an Amazon thing, and then there was a company in Hawaii as well that was selling it, but I didn't do it. Anyway, see what this tastes like. Wow, really good. Really sweet. Uh-oh. Trying to get the straw all the way down. Really, really sweet. A fruit sweetness. A persimmon maybe. It's something that's like kind of citrusy, but not like super like sour or anything. And like sweet, but not like super sweet, like mangoes or something. But really, really good. I love that flavor. That is a really sweet green tea, my goodness. So I'm really interested in what now the hot brew is going to taste like. Oh, I had it turned upside down. But yeah, so this is from RAKKASAN. I think that's how you pronounce it. RAKKASAN. Tea is a vendor that sells a bunch of different teas from different countries, rather. And so really glad these guys are around, because when you go out trying to find tea from all these border countries, there's not a lot of options. And then what you do come across, it's typically like one company that sells like one particular tea from one country. And so to have a company like RAKKASAN that does like multiple different teas from like 7 different countries is really cool. And the fact that they're based in Dallas, which is my hometown, is really cool. I saw a tea review done just recently, specifically for a green tea, and it wasn't. It had, the brewing parameters were not temperature or steep time per se, but it was actually more about the amount of water. And I was like, oh man, that's so true. Like, if you use a bunch of water for the tea, of course, that changes the parameters. It changes the flavor and everything. And that's something that I never really thought about. So this is the dry leaf is smells darker than what the cold brew tastes like. There is definitely some it's definitely sweet. And I want to say caramel, but it's not quite caramel. But it's really good. It is really on the border of like fruit sweetness with a little bit of caramel. Yeah. Going to, I don't want to make this too heavy. Just really want to get it wet. Really pretty leaves. Yeah, and the wet leaf hasn't changed much in aroma. It's really just more of that, like I say, like fruit sweet, slightly caramel note. Really wish I could better pinpoint what the aroma is, but yeah, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful bouquet. It's definitely turning more green now, but still very dark. So very, very much fermented, maybe. I'm certain that the leaves will turn more and more green after a steep or two, but definitely looks different than many green teas I've had, just in terms of how dark it is. And I'm gonna put that water back on to boil right away because I have a feeling with this one, I'm going to want to go harder. And so I'm gonna give this, I think we're already approaching almost 30 seconds, so no need to try to do less time than that. All right. Really pretty color. And yep, just like as I expected, those leaves are almost all green now. Not dark at all. So that makes me think that, so it's not like super fermented or anything, but there's something that gave those leaves that dark appearance. And then it all got washed away with water. Yeah, close to like a peach or something like that. Really pretty color, I think, specifically for a green tea. It's like honey. It's not green, not like super dark or anything. Quite a bit of activity. Not a lot of material in the brew. Wow. So there is a bitterness. Middle of the tongue. So it's not horrible. But I was mistaken. I definitely don't want to go any harder than this. This was 30 seconds, and that's as much as it can take. I'm pretty sure with this particular tea, I'm going to have some forgotten brews. And so I know the bitterness is going to be dialed up. But I'm ready for it. There is that fruit sweetness is there, but it's in the background. The bitterness is really kind of up front. So what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna bring the temperature down and see if I can tease out more of those fruit notes. Really curious to see what, if any, body sensation will be had from this. Oh, I forgot water. And I am also too curious to see what happens if I use just a bunch of water. I think the parameters that I saw in that review was something like 3 grams of tea and something like, I want to say 100 to 300 milliliters of water. So there's a lot of water for that amount of tea. But we're gonna go 30 seconds on this one and see what we get out of it. I don't want to go a full minute, not yet, especially being that it's only the second infusion. And this tea can pack a bit of a punch. And the funny thing is, you can't really tell based on the color of the liquor. It's yeah, those are very pretty leaves. My goodness, the quality on this is just. Oh, and now it's really creamy. So yeah, definitely peaches, and those tinned, cream peaches that I haven't had in a very long time, but the smell is it's recognizable, so recognizable. It's in a can, and it's cream and it's peaches, and it's obviously not one of my favorite foods because I haven't had it since smelling it as a kid. But like, there's no getting around that. That's exactly what it is. So so that's really cool because the dry leaf, and even after the first infusion, it was, like I say, it was like a fruit caramel type thing, and so the caramel now, it's more cream, and it has a little bit of minerality that makes it give it that tinned, peaches in a can type of thing. So again, really pretty color for a green tea because it's different, right? It's really like it's hard to say because this one is not honey per se, but it's not champagne, but it's very light, almost yellow. It's different. I like it. Yeah, there we go. So bitterness is gone. And definitely the cream is there, the peach is there. Very much a sweet. So I'm gonna definitely hold on to this one. Excited about this one. Mandalay greens, what they're calling it, and it's a Burmese green tea. I wonder now if they're using the same varietals and producing methods for the edible stuff, because if they are, then I can definitely see this being a very, very nice, like pickled leaf to add to a papaya salad or something like that. And it makes me really want to try it now, because smelling this bag, like, you can definitely, it's like the perfect sweet tanginess, I bet it's really good. So, RAKKASAN, this is 34 grams. So I got quite a bit of this. Excited about that. Definitely gonna hold on to this and enjoy it. Gonna have to figure out a better way to store it. But this one's a keeper. Now, what I'm gonna do is, just for the heck of it, now that we've washed off all of the dark whatever that was in the beginning, I'm gonna go ahead and crank this thing up, because like I said, I really am looking forward to some forgotten brews, and so I'm gonna go ahead and crank this one up really high and just see what happens. I imagine it's going to be quite bitter. Any remnants of cream and peaches that were once there, I'm sure, are going to be gone. The leaves are all unfurled now. I'm not gonna go too crazy though. It's only the third steeping, but I'm gonna give it a full minute and see if I can get any sort of body sensation out of this. So far, I don't feel much. Haven't had anything to eat or drink today. This is my first anything in my stomach today. So, see what happens. And I haven't had anything at all as far as feelings go. I've had quite a bit of the cold brew, and this will be the third infusion. We're nearing a minute. All right. Love seeing those green leaves. And even with heat, oh, I can smell it. Oh, I don't know if that came off of the liquor or what, but oh man, yeah, that tinned creamy peaches. It's so good. And this is one of those teas that I can spend quite a bit of time smelling. You know, look at that color. It's like mead. And you know, now that I think about it, I think I may want to try this with a little bit of honey. Yes, it's what I expected. It is starting to lose a little bit of power. So it can take the longer steep time. The bitterness is there, but it's subdued. It's not as harsh as it was on that second brew. I'm sorry, on the first infusion. Now it's really mellowed out to a nice, moderately strengthened green tea. That's how I will say it. Because it's not like really strong green tea. It does have some strength, but it still has that background of real sweetness. And you do still get some creaminess. It just took a couple infusions for it to get there. So again, I'm really looking forward to having some forgotten brews with this one. The cold brew is super sweet. There's no bitterness. It is thirst quenching. And now based on this hot brew, I'm certain that if I took this cold brew out with me, even in the heat, and some additional brewing, it's still going to be really good. It's not going to lose any of its sweet flavor profile. So all in all, I really like this one. So glad that I have so much of it to go through and drink. You know, I've never really been a green tea guy. You know, I enjoy Gaikuro. I like matcha. But in my experiences with the Chinese green teas, I just have never really been my favorite. This is the first time, you know, I had the Hawaiian green tea, and now this one, that I'm really digging green tea. And I don't know if that's going to like change my whole, you know, thought process on green tea, but I may actually add this to my my repertoire. I'm gonna actually try a little bit of honey with this one because it does have kind of that flavor profile. Look what I got. Got honeycomb straight from Hawaii. This is wild honey. I think it's also organic too. I really love this stuff. I get some anytime I visit the island. And every time I go, it's a different color, it's a different flavor. And that is the kind of intangibles that I really appreciate in this particular product. You know what I mean? Because it's not so much about the taste, it's sort of the adventure of it all, right? Like, I know I'm gonna be getting straight up, like, you know, natural honey. And the fact that it looks different and tastes different every time, again, it's just, for me, it's that intangible that adds to the overall quality of the product, which is weird because usually, you know, when you have a favorite something, it's because of the taste, it's because of the color and this and that. But this one, it's because it's different every time, you know. And I specifically enjoy adding the honeycomb to the tea. And this is the only thing I use this particular honey for. It is for tea because the honeycomb, the honey wax, ends up being basically bubblegum when it's all done, right? So the honey that's inside the honeycomb adds the sweetness, and then the honeycomb itself turns into bubblegum that I can chew, you know, for some time afterwards. And it also soaks up a little bit of the tea as well and adds to the flavor. So that's what it looks like. I may have put a little too much. Matter of fact, just for kicks, let's add more tea. Because again, this green tea is so good that adding more tea to this is not going to hurt at all. What I'm gonna do, maybe just 30 seconds instead of a full minute on this particular infusion. And I am just about out of water. So that's perfect. Yeah, really excited. So, you know, I got quite a few countries to go through. This is my first time tasting anything from Myanmar. And like I said, I tried to get different kinds from every place. So I think the next one from Myanmar, I think it's a black tea. And so really curious to see how that turns out. When I was going through the teas. Earlier, also saw that there was a Rwandan green tea, and just the idea of a Rwandan green tea makes me think that it's going to be like harsh, you know. But you never know. You never know. Yeah, that aroma is still there, man. That is good. I like that. It's definitely creamy canned peaches. All right. So, adding some more hot tea to that brew has really deteriorated that honeycomb quite a bit. You can see it kind of slopping around in there. It does not look very appealing or appetizing, but I know it's good. You know what I mean? It's just honey. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, this is my first time ever adding any kind of sweetener to green tea. Well, outside of matcha, of course. And I like it. So that's really cool. So now there's two teas that I like to add honey to. One is the Darjeeling First Flush white tea, and now happens to be this Burmese green tea. Cool stuff. All right, from me to you.